Hello, welcome to the Knits and Things podcast. My name is Heather. I am Heather219 on Ravelry and Instagram. You can find me in both places. You can also find me on Ravelry. I started a Knits and Things podcast group so that we can talk about things on the podcast or your current works in progress or anything that you want. So come on over and join the group and see what's going on. So apparently I only podcast on snow days, because it's snowing again here. If I turn it's snowing right now, and I would like you guys to see all of our pretty trees, but I don't know, I think it might be too bright. I record on my iPad, and so it's not the best.
There, I think you can see out into the pretty trees in the yard. And hopefully not too much motion sickness. There you go. So hopefully I'll be able to edit those clips in there and leave out all the shaky. So let's see. We step back up. Don't fall. Don't fall. Is that an okay view?
Okay, so hopefully you didn't get motion sickness from that, and hopefully you were able to see how pretty it is when it snows here. But this is, I don't know, I don't really mind it, because I'm going to title this podcast Goodbye Summer, Where the Heck is Spring? But really, it kind of alludes to the lengthened school year for me, because I'm a teacher. But really, we were getting out very early this year anyway. The new extended date that I've been hearing, nothing has been officially declared for my county at least, but the new date that I'm hearing is like the 11th of June. So maybe now, which I think was in the middle of the week, because originally it was 7. Yeah, so I think the 11th was like a Wednesday anyway. So maybe now it's the 12th of June, which last year I think it was the 12th of June for the real date, not the extended date. So really, it's all relative. Whatever. We're going to school. And today we're not, because there were probably, I would say, like 6 inches of snow. I went and shoveled out so that other cars could be moved out of the driveway. So I went and shoveled this morning and dug my car out and moved it around. So there's maybe 6 inches of snow, and it is snowing now, but it's very light and fluffy. So nothing more is going to come from it, I don't think. So we've got about 6 inches, which is about what they forecast. So we're good. And I'm looking, on the top of if you saw on the top of the grill and the little planter outside, about 6 inches. Good snow. And it is a little bit icy, because when it first started yesterday, it was very, very cold. But the underlayer is kind of icy because it was a little wet. Yesterday it actually started snowing during my son's lacrosse game. During the game, I sat through a snowstorm and cheered for my son with lacrosse. It was snowing during the game. I had on I dressed like we were going skiing. So I had on actually this thermal shirt. I kind of slept in it. I had on this thermal shirt, another camisole underneath that, another shirt over this, and a sweater over this. I had on one of my sweaters that has a big turtleneck. And then I just wore jeans, but I wore an extra pair of socks with wool socks over, and my boots. And I took a down blanket that I usually use on my bed. I took a down blanket and wrapped my legs up as we sat there. And I sat during the game so that I could be in my little cocoon of warmth. But I wore my long down jacket that comes down kind of midway to my knee. It has a hood and everything. I was bundled. I was bundled. My poor son was miserable when the game was over. He enjoyed the game because it was lacrosse, but he was miserable. Anyway, so snow, and more snow. That's the story of this winter, right? Okay, so let's get into the knitting. So I finished a couple things that I do not have to show. I finished the baby items and gifted them, and just in the nick of time. So I finished the Whoopee monkey, which is the blanket with the monkey head on top. For my coworker, just in time for her shower. We did that 1 week on Thursday. The next Thursday, she had the baby. So we were just in time. And actually they're due to come home today in all of the snow. They've been posting on Facebook. Her husband's kind of been posting for her, but now she's kind of a little, recovered a little and able to get back, and she's been posting too. So they are due to come home. It was a baby boy named Blake, and he's very, very cute. Oh my goodness, he's very, very cute. Oh. Sometimes babies are funny looking when they are first born. When they first come out of the hospital, they have like a little elfin kind of look, but he's so cute. Oh my goodness, he's cute. Ooh, very cute. So that was gifted just in time. And then I knit and gifted the piece of birthday cake for my nephew, whose birthday party, or his actual birthday was 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, because he was born last year on a Friday, so it worked out perfectly that his birthday party was on his birthday, and he had so much fun. We all had so much fun at his birthday. He was perfectly entertaining, and he loved all the people, and he enjoyed all of his gifts, and it was really nice. So, and he likes the piece of cake. My sister originally was going to give it to him to let him play with it. They opened it, and he thought it was great, and he and played with it, and of course put it right immediately in his mouth. And then my brother-in-law took it away. I'm going to go show everybody. But then I didn't see him with it again during the birthday party, which was fine because he had lots of gifts to play with and to look at and enjoy. But then a couple days later, my sister was like, oh, it's up on the shelf. He's not going to get that. I'm like, if you don't give him that piece of cake, it's like, I knitted it for him to play with. Let him play with it. She's like, he's going to mess it up. I don't care. Let him have it. And she's a knitter. She should know. Anyway, so those two were both gifted, and I don't have them to show. I did post both of them on Instagram and Facebook, though, so if you are friends with me on either of those, you probably saw them. The next is the sock yarn blanket. I'm in the middle of a red square, but I also just finished a red square. Didn't I? Yes. I also just finished a red square. And the square, I've done one of these before, and I think I said that I thought it came out a little small, but this one looks, maybe it is a little small. When you're knitting it, it gets to be a bit much. And once you get to those 20 stitches in between, it's actually 40 from corner to corner, but you have, half of it on one needle and half of it on the other, and I'll explain why that's going on in a minute. So once you get to that magic number 20, you're like, oh yes, 20, bind off. So maybe it is a little bit smaller, but we'll deal with with that when we come to putting it on the blanket. So there's another red and black square, and I just decided to go ahead and do this one too. Do another one right away because I only have just a little bit left. So it'll definitely finish this square. I don't know if it'll do another square. So I think once I get to the point where I might not get another whole square out of the yarn that I have left, I'm just going to kind of set it aside and see, because I might have to, in order to get the number of squares that I need, I might have to kind of combine some yarns or find some solids to put with the variegated to use. So I've got these, and I've kind of just pulled out a couple moods that I'm kind of hoping to foster and hoping to kind of keep going. So I had, this one was from the Excited bin. I think this one is Excited. I have the blue Malabrigo out for the Appreciative bin, and then this was the Happy or Satisfied bin as well. So I have those both in there just because those are kind of the moods that I want to kind of keep fostering. I did do a couple squares, a couple extra squares. I think I've done 4 since the last time I recorded. So I don't really, and I needed to do 12 at the beginning of the month. So I don't see any reason why I won't finish and get to my 24 total squares by the end of this month. Because remember, this is a Harry Potter house cup project. So I have that going on now. And that's pretty much all I've been doing. I've been pretty faithful to that, so that's why I think I'm going to finish. I also have, let me show you some really cool stuff. I have a charity hat that I'm knitting, and I tried to find the pattern, and I don't know where the book has gone. So I'm knitting just a straight stockinette stitch hat. This is from the One Skein Wonders book, and this is what my knit group at school is working on. So I have them all working on hats. And I misread the directions. I thought it was that they had to knit straight for like 4 or 6 inches, depending on the size hat they needed. And they actually have to knit straight for 11 inches, and that's proving to be a little bit much for some of the younger for the sixth graders. I have some coworkers that are adults, of course, that are in the group, and they've finished their hats. Both of the adults that are in the group are on their second hat. One might even be on her third. So the 11 inches is working out to be a bit much for the sixth graders. So I think once we finally get these done, no matter what they look like, we're just going to do them, finish them off, and send them. And then I think we'll switch to preemie hats. Although one of the students brought in, she and her mother had been looking online and brought me, have you heard of this? Pullovers for penguins. It's a really cute idea. It's like a little pullover that goes on penguins that have been hurt in oil slicks. And it helps them. You put the pullover on them so that they don't try and clean themselves with their beak, and they get the oil, ingest the oil, which is, of course, dangerous to them. And it also helps to keep them warm. I guess their normal body functions don't work right because of all the oil, so it helps to keep them warm, and it helps them to not ingest the oil by cleaning themselves. So this is a hat that I'm working on. I think my son actually started, but I picked up on this one. He's now knitting a gray one because he's in my group too. And this is a hat, I confiscated this from this poor little girl. She has the motions down for knitting, but she's really wild with it. Like, she does a stitch and then she pulls, and she does a stitch and she pulls. And I've been saying, stop pulling and pay attention, because she wants to do it and watch and talk to other people. So I've taken it from her once again because she's got several drop stitches. But look, I mean, she's done a lot. She's done a lot. And I don't know that this was necessarily the best choice for yarn. I have lots of scrap yarn in my classroom in some boxes for the knit group to use. So I don't know that this was actually the best choice. I think it's a little slick because it's just I think it might even be like Karen's Simply Soft. So I'm going to fix this for her and take it to her. Unfortunately, I meet with my group on Mondays, and so because it's a snow day and it's a Monday, we're missing another day of group. So I will get that back to her tomorrow when we go to school so that she can work on it and hopefully have the yarn knitted up by the time we meet again, because she's only got this little bit left. So, oh, and there's a Q-tip in there. Okay. She probably had something else in the bag, and I just gave them all a little gift baggie to carry their yarn around in. So that's what I'm knitting on right now. Like I said, I'm trying to be completely monogamous and just get those squares done. I am doing a little bit of spinning in between, and I did work on my sock a little bit, my rainbow sock, but I've got a pretty good length, a pretty good portion of the foot of the sock done. And remember, I'm trying to do these on size 1. So this was the Desert Vista Dye Works. I forget the colorway, but it's basically, it's a multicolor rainbow with lots of little stripes. I've got the majority of the foot done, and I slipped it on my own foot again, and I think it's going to be too snug for me. I wanted that firmer fabric, and I wanted to see what a 0 would do, because the Desert Vista Dye Works, it looks very thin. But I think it's going to be too snug. I have bunions that can be really painful if I get the wrong shoes and it presses on my bunion at all. It makes them hurt. And sometimes, even if it's just, a smoother piece of leather that might be kind of laying the wrong way, it still will make them hurt, even though they're not being rubbed on or pushed on. And the sock, when I put the sock on, I could really feel it kind of, because it's snug. It's so nice and snug, and it's such a firm fabric. I think it might be too snug. So I'm torn. I might undo it and knit them again, because I have that red yarn from my pal, Claudia, to knit as the heels. So I'm toying around with taking out what I've done, because it's only part of a foot. I might take out what I've done already and then put the red as the toe and the heel and use a bigger needle. Or I might just keep knitting them for my sister. I'm torn. So, I don't know. We'll hopefully by next time I record, we'll decide. Hopefully there'll be another snow day. All right, so that's all I'm working on for knitting. And that was knitting and Fox and Socks in one. Sorry. All right, so thing 2 is spinning. And for spinning, I finished the mystery blue fiber. And so here is my skein, all wound up. Let me undo it so you can see, because you've got some little extra bobbles in there. So I spun this up pretty thin and then did a 2-ply. Let me see if I can get, and then I did a 2-ply. I'm happy with it overall. I feel like in some places it's a little thick and thin. I mean, that over here is very thin, and over here there's some thicker bits. But I think overall it pretty much worked out. I did not measure the wraps per inch or look at the twist yet, but I'm kind of happy with it. I did measure the yardage, and that's pretty much all I've done. I have about 250 yards, and it's different, it's different shades of blue. I don't know if they're coming out. Here's a bit that's a little bit greener. But I'm happy with it overall. I had not spun anything this thin in a while, so I was actually pretty impressed, and I've never done a 2-ply with this thin like that. So I was pretty impressed with the spinning overall, and I'm very happy with it. With 250 yards, I think I can do, a good size something with it. Probably something for my neck. Maybe some fingerless mitts. Because I've seen some that are a little longer that would handle 250 yards pretty well. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see what it becomes. I've been famous for not knitting with my hand spun, and I'm determined to not do that. But right now, I really don't know exactly what I'll do with it, except that I'm happy. And I said that this was the yarn that this is my Malabrigo, my Malintosh, because I had to put vinegar in the bath when I soaked it, because the dye was coming out. I believe that my family and I dyed this, my sister and I, one winter. Last time we had a winter like this, 2009. Yes, we had what was called Snowmageddon, and we had a lot of snow that year, but it was back to back to back, and it was blizzard after blizzard after blizzard, and it was an actual blizzard. Like, we would get over a foot of snow each time. We had several feet of snow on the ground at one time, and we were snowed in for 7 days straight. It was ridiculous. So we dyed everything, and these, I think, were done with cake dyes, and so when I washed it, it was coming out, and you could just see it as it was sitting there. I soaked it, and then I drained that water out, and I put a new bath of clean water in and soaked again. You can just see the color kind of leaching into the water. So I put some vinegar in there, and I thought, oh, it smells like Madelinetosh. Now I know why. And I had forgotten that vinegar is a good setting agent. The acid, I guess, is what you need to set the dye, and so it was, I don't know, it smelled really good in there because I love the smell of Madelinetosh. So it doesn't smell like vinegar as much as Madelinetosh does, but it's there, maybe just a little hint. So, blue skein done. I'm on now to, I'm trying to do a fractal spin. I've never purposely done a fractal spin before. So, from my understanding, this is what's happening. So I took a braid. Oh, I should have brought one of the braids because I have 2 of them. I took a braid. I have two of these braids that I got from a pre-sheep and wool. Oh, I don't know what to call it. I used to go to the Clover Hill Spinners on Friday nights, and just before sheep and wool one year, the owner let us kind of see what she had gotten in, the things that she was getting in to take to the sheep and wool booth, because Clover Hill is I call them a very like no-nonsense yarn store. They don't have the frilly yarn, they don't have the fashion yarn, they don't have the latest this or latest that. They have dependable, trustworthy, known yarns that are going to make good final products. So there's not a lot of fluffy, froofy stuff. But during sheep and wool, they use their contacts with different indie dyers to have a booth that does have all that. They have all the flashy fibers and yarns and new this and new that and indie dyers and small business people and things like that, where it's almost a 180 or almost a 360 for, or is that 180? 180, right? I'm facing this way, now I'm facing the other way, 180. For what they normally do. So they had a bunch of things that were coming in for sheep and wool, and we kind of got to pick over it, and she casually said, well, if you want something, go ahead and take it, because there were just, a couple of us there for the spin group, and then I don't have to take it to sheep and wool. So I picked up 2 of these skeins. This is from Wool Gatherings, and it's just 100% BFL, and it wasn't even named. That's all I know, is that it's 100% BFL, 4.2 ounces. So, and these are the colors in it. beautiful reds and greens and yellows and orange and brown. And what I did, so I'm trying to do a fractal. So this is my understanding. I took the whole length of the braid. I just unbraided it. I took the whole length and I held it up till it was about half. And I pulled it. So now I have one half here and one half here. So the half that was in my right hand, didn't matter which one, the half that was in my right hand is being spun on the wheel as is. So by doing that, I've got a wider piece of fiber, and I'm spinning that, and I'm trying to do it as evenly as possible to spin all of, let me undo this one, to spin all of the red, and then all of the brown, and then all of the green, and all of the orange, all of the red, all of the orange. You get the idea. And then the second half I split into small segments like this. These are much thinner because all of these, and I split it into 4, all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, were the same length as the other hank that's being spun straight. So then by doing this, I should have little short bursts of color coming off to be plied with it. To be coming off of this spin to be plied with the thicker color there. And from what I understand, and I went back and read a couple articles online, one was a Knitty article, and there's a couple different sources online that you can find, and in different books that you can find that describe fractal spinning, so that hopefully when I ply the 2 up, and I'm just going to do a 2-ply, so hopefully when I ply the 2 up, I will get, all of the colors will meet in various different random ways, so that I won't just have the color like it came from the braid, which was very short colors repeated over and over, and it kind of went A, B, C, D, C, B, A. So it kind of went one way and then undid itself, and then in order again, and then in reverse order again. So all the colors should match up at some point with each other and with all of the other colors. So the red will match with itself sometimes, and it'll match with the green sometimes, it'll match with the brown sometimes, and the yellow, so that all the colors will kind of be a good combination. So I'm anxious to see how it works out. That's the spinning that's on there now, and this was from the Spin Your Bin challenge, so both the blue and this count for the Spin Your Bin. So that's what's on the wheel right now. And when I'm waiting to spin, I'm going to force myself in between these 2 braids, in between the 2 fractal spins, I'm going to force myself to do a little bit of my plain white, because I had said earlier that I needed to kind of trick myself into doing that so that it gets spun up, and so that I have my sweaters quantity. I don't think it's going to happen by the time I go to sheep and wool, which is what I had originally said, so no fleece for me this year. I still have several whole fleeces in the house to be spun, so I'm not going to buy any fleeces this year, but I cannot promise that I won't look at them. So if you've never been to the fleece sale at Maryland Sheep and Wool or any other fiber festival that you go to, you really should, because it's amazing to see what the fiber starts out looking like. Amazing, and it's amazing to see the different fibers that you may like when you're spinning or when you're knitting, and what they look like straight off the sheep. So it's very interesting. And speaking of that, I was listening to Christy talk on the Knitwear podcast about wanting to see sheepdog shows and animals and things like that. And I guess, Christy, have you never been to Maryland Sheep and Wool? Because if not, come on down. I would even let you stay here if you wanted to be in the crazy house of poodle nonsense and preteen craziness, because Maryland Sheep and Wool, I think, is a very unique experience, and I think everybody should experience it. So, Chrissy, if you really want to go, I can hook you up, because I love Sheep and Wool. I'm going to talk about it later when we get to Mulberry Street. So, I love Sheep and Wool. Love it, love it. Okay, so that's it for spinning. On to so for Oh the Things You Can Think, I want to talk about a couple things. The first thing I want to talk about is Knitwear magazine. I really think I need to subscribe to Knitwear. Every time I see this magazine, there's patterns in there that I absolutely love. So there's a couple online right now. Oh, and I didn't look them up, but if you go into the top 20 patterns, there's a couple that are just really, really gorgeous. And I might be able to pull them up while we're talking. a couple that are really, really gorgeous. And they all, one day, everyone that I clicked on that was in the top 20 that I liked was from Knitwear magazine. It was amazing. And I put a bunch of them in my favorites. There's one called the Folded Lace Tank by, I don't know who. The Folded Lace Tank, oh, by Bristol Ivy. Beautiful. And that's from the Knitwear Spring Summer. And it's kind of a an A-line tank. It's sleeveless. This, you know, the sleeves kind of stop here, but it's got these gorgeous pleats and lace panels down one side, and then it just kind of hangs straight, and it's a little flowy, which is what you would want in the spring or summer. Gorgeous. And that's from Knitwear. Is this one? I have the cabled vintage jumper. Was that from there too? No, but that's gorgeous too. If you are looking for something for maybe next winter, the cabled vintage jumper. No, I think it's a Patton's jumper, and it's just called Jumper to Fit 34-inch Bust. Really? That's the name of the pattern? Really, that's the name of the pattern. Jumper to Fit 34-inch Bust by Patton's UK. Really. Not creative at all, but it's a gorgeous sweater. That's really pretty. There's a front pleat dolman that is really cute from the Knitwear Spring. That's a design by Jane Howarth. Short sleeves that have like a little cuff. Empire waist, actually not even empire, just under the bust you get a little pleat that brings it out. So it's kind of an A-line shape too. Can you tell I'm trying to streamline here? That was from Knitwear, spring and summer. Really, really cute patterns. Is that one too? Nope. Really cute. There's one called the Gusset Tunic that's kind of has it like an asymmetrical hem, and it's tunic length, and I love a tunic length. I really like the way that looks and how comfortable it seems to be when you're wearing it. So just really nice patterns. So those are the ones from spring and summer this year that are on there. But I also brought out some examples of why I think I need to subscribe to this, because this is the fall winter 2013 issue, and look at all of those, right? So I just wanted to real quick show you some that I liked. I'm not necessarily going to go over all the names, but these are all in Ravelry. So this one is the tucked pullover. Very nice detail around the neck. And that was a design, and it's in silky wool, of course, by Queen Ali is the designer name. Very nice. This scarf was gorgeous. That could be a good summer project to work on because it wouldn't be too big. But can you see? There you go. You can see the cables, the twisting cables that go all the way down, up and down it. Gorgeous. There was this cute little hat, nice little slouchy hat, that has an interesting construction because it's not done in the normal hat style. I think it's a strip that gets kind of twisted around and seamed together. Very neat. Very nice hat. This vest, the askew vest. So there's always tons of patterns in there that I really, really like. That was the scarf again. You don't need to see that one again. This ring collar pullover I really kind of like as a little casual weekend wear, yet stylish type thing. And and this green, this is called the the lace insert pullover, and I think that's really pretty too. Very nice. Oh, I don't know if you're getting a good view of that one. Sorry, it's kind of a dark picture overall. There. They're just such nice designs. I just really, really like a lot of things in the magazine every time I look at it. And this one, cabled bands pullover. So you can see there, and it's got around the hem, it's got these cute little cabled bands. And then here she is, so you can see the front. It's around the neck too. Just nice. That one, again, was fall winter 2013. This one was spring 2012. I still want to knit that. Still want to knit that. Gorgeous. That's the twist pullover by Cecily Glauert McDonald. I think I heard Steph from Knitting Samurai talk about that one too. Maybe that can be summer knit along, although that's a lot of stockinette, and I'm getting ready to talk about a big stockinette project, so maybe not. This origami pullover I think is really cute too, with the little details there at the hip. Very nice, and the panel down the center. Very nice and very fashion forward. And then I knitted, over the winter, I knitted the corrugated cloche, and that was from here too. Remember that hat? So that was from there too. So I really like Knitwear magazine. I think I'm subscribing because I love it all. I love it all, and they have good articles and everything too. So why not go for it? So that's what I'm thinking about there. I also, so to talk about the stockinette project that I want to do, I think I've been I mentioned doing the Viajange, because I looked up how to pronounce it online. I talked about doing that, and a couple people took the bait and said yes, they would want to too. So April is when we're going to do the Viajange. Join us if you would like. I'm thinking that there's a lot of stockinette, so I'm thinking it might be like start in April, end when summer officially gets here. So, and summer is usually like what, the 20-something of June. So we might go all of April, all of May, stop when summer gets here. And then hopefully you'll have it for summer travel that you might be doing. You'll definitely have it for summer air conditioning, which is why one of the reasons I thought it would be great to have it, because it's lace weight and it's so nice and light. So I know a couple people have done it. I know Amy Beth from Fat Squirrel did hers, and I think she said she used sport weight, and it looked really, really nice. So I am going to use lace weight, and I'll show you what I have to do it with. Megan from Stockinette Zombies, I think she used either it was a heavy lace weight or a light fingering. Didn't she use the volumized lace? Oh, I forget exactly what the name of the yarn she used, but it's a little heavier than a normal or traditional lace weight. So you could do it in a couple different weights. I think if you do that, the heavier you go, you might need to adjust a little, which is why I'm just going to go with lace weight, because I don't want to fiddle with stuff. I want to kind of have a pattern that I don't really have to do too much thinking about, because I do have 2 shawls that I need to finish. I need to finish my mother's shawl from Christmas. Bad daughter. I need to finish my mother's shawl from Christmas, and I really want to get back to my Follow Your Arrow, which is, I've been itching to do that. I really wanted to pick that up this week, but I want to finish my squares, so I didn't. So would you like to see what I'm going to knit it with? So I originally thought, when I talked about the Viajange, I originally thought that I would use up some stash, and that was one of the reasons that sold me on it. Oh, I have this yarn already in my stash. It's perfect. I can use up some of my stash. Yay! Well, I think the stash has, I think it's no longer, the yarn is no longer a part of my stash. I'm watching a squirrel in a tree out there. He's knocking all the snow off the branches. Maybe that's where his little nest is, and he doesn't want it to be snowy anymore. And you might, oh no, you can't see back here. I have a bird feeder right back in the middle of those windows, and there's been a squirrel on there all morning. I've been chasing him away. I know, is that mean? He should find his own stuff. He can dig farther than the birds can, right? Anyway, the yarn I wanted to use for the Viajange was some Knit Picks Shadow. You can see the tag there. I've had it in my stash forever, because I haven't ordered from Knit Picks in years. But this was safely tucked away in my stash with some lavender mothballs in a plastic bag, because I had it all set aside for a lace sweater pattern that I was going to do. And I had it all tucked away. And so here's one skein all nice and wound up. Here's another skein all nice and wound up. And I just wound these as I was going through. And I got to the last 2 skeins. Well, I knew it had happened before I got to the last 2, but I tried dealing with the last 2 skeins. The last 2 skeins, if you can see, can you see that right there? Can you see that right there? Right there? Eaten by somebody. So, like I said, it was in a plastic bag with mothballs, and yet several plies have been chewed through. And look how precise they are. So, I don't think I have, and this yarn was going to be just enough because I had 440 yards. So I was going to have just enough because I think it takes like 1,900 yards, or it recommends about 1,900 yards according to the yarn that was used for the sample. So I was going to have just enough, and now I'm wondering exactly what I'm going to have, because who knows where those cuts come in. And this skein were both done that way. This skein I had on my Nitty Knotty, not my Nitty Knotty, on my Swift, trying to untangle or trying to wind it. And I took several broken pieces out. There's still several more, I do believe. And it was frustrating me and irritating me. So I kind of put it aside and bought new yarn. So yeah, see, I still see pieces here. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and those are not the ends. Those are not supposed to be the ends. I think that is an end because that is clearly a cut from scissors rather than an eaten mark. So I have 2 nice skeins of lace and I have 2 skeins of lace, but I think if I have a smaller amount than I originally thought I was going to have, I could maybe do some kind of a lace pullover or something that doesn't require 1,900 yards of lace weight, because I don't think I have it now with these Eaton skeins. So I had a coupon code and I promised them I would use it because they were getting tired of waiting for me to use it. I bought some more Leading Men Fiber Arts, and I bought their Ghostlight lace weight in the color Darkest Hour. And so here are the skeins, which this is a black, and I really had black with gray. I really had in mind something very neutral that would go with anything. And so I like the black a little bit better than the brown anyway. So this is their Ghostlight. Their Ghostlight is, if you can see, a mix of, it's 875 yards. So I only have just shy of 1,700 yards, but I think I'll be fine because I'm very short, so I don't think I'll need to use the full length that the pattern recommends. I wonder how tall Martina Bem is. I wonder if it's full length for her. I wonder if she's 5'4", like me. So I'm going to have just under 1,700 yards. Yes? Yes. So between 16 and 1,900. So I don't think I'll have enough to do the full length, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. So 80% superfine merino, 20% silk. It's lace weight, and I'm going to open up one of these skeins for you. I wanted you to see them whole first because I think their presentation is really nice. They make a really nice skein. Oh, look at that. Very nice. So it's a little darker. It's a little more black than it's looking on the screen there. It looks very gray there, but I think it's a little blacker than that. And I said I would open up a skein to let you guys see. And I really think I'm going to be very happy with their yarn. Oh, I see. They've got this tag. Look at that. You don't have to cut anything. They've got their tag kind of around the whole skein. Look at that. So it came off like that. And so there is the skein. So it's kind of a deep gray more than a black. But I think it'll be very good for going with multiple outfits. I think it'll go with lots of different things. So, and it feels really, really nice. Oh, it feels really, really nice. The silk, I think, is going to be really nice. So, this is what I will be doing my Vigeange with. So, if you would like to knit one as well, ooh, wind. If you would like to knit one as well, please join me. April 1st is the cast-on date. I don't know exactly what kind of prizes will be, although I can tell you that I have not heard from everybody from the last knit along that won a prize. So if you are, let me find her, Lee Fenn, I still have not heard from you. Lee Fenn, you won a pattern from the sweater knit along that finished up, and I announced the last podcast. So if I'm ready to gift you a pattern of your choice, and please contact me so that we can talk about which pattern you would like. If I haven't heard from you in a little while, I will probably send you a PM. I like hearing, and I like waiting to hear when people announce contests. I like kind of waiting to hear who won on the show. So I'm trying to wait so that I don't spoil your fun. But if I don't hear from you soon, I will contact you because I'm ready to mail everything out. And we'll see what the roads are like later. I have all the prizes. I'm sorry, guys. I have all the prizes sitting by the front door, ready to go out. And I have a post office. I didn't realize this, but my post office has like extended lobby hours, because there's a self-service box there that I can walk right up to. As long as I know exactly where it's going and don't need any help from a postal clerk, I can do the shipping myself. So I kept missing the times to go, and then somebody reminded me, well, there's that machine in the lobby that you can go up to at any time. I think it's open until like 9 o'clock at night. So we'll see. I wanted to go get my hair done today because I have class pictures on Wednesday. So if the roads are nice and I can make it out, I will try and mail out the packages today, because like I said, I've found them all, got everybody's address. I know exactly where they're being sent. I just need to actually get to the post office and send them out. So I'm sorry that the prizes are not there from the last one. But Leafen, if you would contact me as well, then I can get all of those taken care of. But I also had someone else for one of the membership drawings that did not contact me, so I have a couple extra prizes. So I may be able to offer a prize. Maybe we'll just knit it along together and have good camaraderie. I could maybe at least give a pattern, huh? We'll see. So, Vijange in April, although I can't tell you if I finish all my squares before April 1st, I will cast on anyway, since I can't win a prize anyway, right? If I cast on first and then show you guys, you'll be inspired, right? So, it's just, I'm very impatient. I really want to do something new. So, that was my ghost light, so now we're on to Everyone Needs a Thneed, yes? So I will tell you that I've got tons of stuff coming. And not necessarily because I've been buying stuff. It just happens that different clubs are shipping now. I'm in Club Amazing with Neighborhood Fiber Company and Dragonfly Fibers and Cephalopod Yarns. Their club shipment is up now. There's a March shipment, and it's going to be Dragonfly Fibers. I might pick that up from them at the Homespun Yarn Party, though. I heard somebody ask about that on the boards, and she said yes. So we'll see. I've been trying to get onto the right now I'm on the pickup list to pick up the skeins from their shop, from the different shops, because I'm pretty much local for them, but I can never make it there. And I don't blame them. If I was an independent business owner, I wouldn't stay in my office forever and a day either. I'd get in, get what I needed done, and be off with my family and doing other things that needed to be done. So hopefully, if they're not already shipping it to me, I can pick it up from them at the Homespun Yarn Party. But it's Dragonfly Fibers this time, and I also am in the Dragonfly Fibers Club as well. So and that is being shipped. I know I got an invoice for it last week, and I got a notice that it was being shipped. So I also have, I checked my messages from Fat Cat Knits. Big mistake. The months that I ignore her, I'm fine. The months that I actually look at stuff, I felt it. So I looked at Fat Cat Knits, and I saw a colorway that I really liked, so I ordered it in Gradient. And I was really impressed because Ginny sent me a message that said, oh, I'm so sorry, I know your shipment should have been mailed out to you already, but it's going to be a little bit late because I didn't like the braid that was going in the envelope, so I want to re-dye it for you. Okay. Please make sure I have a really pretty skein, or really pretty braid. That would be great. And what I ordered was this. I ordered it on the Corriedale, and it is the colorway Leilani. You see that? So there's Leilani. And it is 4 ounces, and isn't it gorgeous? It looks very tropical, which is why I think she called it Leilani. So really, really cute. Really, really cute. And this actually, I had a student last year named Leilani, and it kind of reminds me of her. Very delicate and sweet and innocent. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm excited to see how the Corriedale does. I know lots of people like it, but I don't know that I've spun straight Corriedale in a while. So it feels really nice. So that is from Fat Cat Knits. And that's all of the new stuff? Yes. The Leading Men Fiber Arts and the Leilani. I have Dragonfly Fibers coming, and I also have Club Awesome coming, which both are Dragonfly Fibers. But I don't have those to show yet. So that's all of the new stuff that I've got. So now let's talk about Mulberry Street. So Mulberry Street is about local happenings. I think I saw it on Mulberry Street, right? So the local happenings coming up are Homespun Yarn Party. The Homespun Yarn Party is on Sunday, March 23rd. My son does have a lacrosse game that day. The yarn party is from 12 to 5. My son's game starts at 1, and they're very punctual. So I'm anticipating being able to be on the road by 2 because he's with his dad that weekend. So the after the after gathering up of the troops is not my responsibility that weekend. So I will probably be able to leave as soon as I give him, congratulations for a game won. And I should be on the way. And I'll be maybe about 30 minutes away. I'm not sure exactly where the game is, but I don't think it's going to be any further away than where I am. And if it's a home game, then I'll be about 30 minutes away because I'll be near College Park, and it's going to be in around near Baltimore in Savage, Maryland, at Savage Mall. So I will be there probably about 2:30 or by 3. So for the last couple hours of the Homespun Yarn Party. And I plan on just going to find some of the Genie sock. I think I might have said this before, but I got a little interrupted a minute ago. I swear my dad has no idea why I sit in here and talk to myself sometimes. I think he just thinks I'm talking to myself. But a minute ago I was almost finished with Mulberry Street, and he walks by. What are you doing? My dad. I love him. Okay, so I might have said that before, but that's really my goal, is just to get the Genie sock. And I might be going to see her to pick up my Club Awesome shipment anyway, so I plan on making a beeline for the Dragonfly Fibers booth. So if you go, don't take all the Genie sock. And if you do go and you see me, please stop and say hi. Hopefully I will remember. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm horrible with names. So for both of these next events, if you're going and you see me, please don't be offended when I don't. And when I can't put your name with your face, I think I have a mental block or something. I mean, it's really kind of comical that I'm a first grade teacher, because sometimes I look at a kid and I'm like, you, stop it. So I usually about this time of the year, I'm like the master, where they know I'm giving you this look and I shouldn't have to call your name, because I'm probably going to forget it. So please don't be offended if I'm not able to put your name with your face. Most likely I will remember your face and remember, oh, I see you all the time on Instagram, or oh, I see your avatar on Ravelry all the time. I can't put your name in there. I don't know. I think it's a sickness. I think it's an illness. But please don't be offended. It's just my horrible brain not making connections. So that is for the Homespun Yarn Party. And I'm going to try and be very controlled, because I know I have a couple more financial obligations, and I have Maryland Sheep and Wool coming up. And I always try and give myself at least a sweater from Maryland Sheep and Wool, at least a sweater's worth of yarn from somewhere. So Maryland Sheep and Wool is always the first full weekend in May at is it Howard County Fairgrounds? Yes, in Friendship, Maryland. And it's always wonderful. Usually there's classes the week leading up to Sheep and Wool, and then it's for a full day Saturday and a full day Sunday. Vendors and animals, and there's an auction, and there's a sheep to shawl demonstration where different teams get together and spin. They take a raw fleece and they spin it, and they weave it into a shawl by the end of the day. And it's not even like a full day, like it's not nighttime when they do it. It's maybe around 4 o'clock that they auction everything off. So it's really interesting to watch. And I just love going. So again, looking at my son's lacrosse schedule, this too shall pass, right? We're not going to be going to lacrosse games forever. Hopefully for a really long time, but not forever. So he has games starting in April, games on Saturday, but not on Sunday. So I'm looking at going just on Sunday. So I hope I don't miss out on anything really big on Saturday, like any meetups or anything. If there's going to be some meetup that I might possibly miss out on, I think he actually has 2 games on Saturday. So if there possibly would be something that I might miss out on, I might go to the first game and not the second, so that I can come and participate in a meetup. But for right now, I'm planning on just going on Sunday. And I'm hoping that my sister and mother go. My sister goes with me usually every year. Did she go last year? She did not go last year because she had a brand new baby. But my mother hasn't been in years, and I would really like for her to go, because she's just as fanatical about yarn and knitting as I am. So those are my plans. That's where I'm going to be. If you see me, please stop and say hi. If you're Leaf In, please contact me so that I can send you a pattern for winning in the sweater knit along. And I think that's it for now. I think that's it. So I hope your knitting makes you happy. Until next time, which will probably be about 2 weeks. It's just the way it's working out. Happy knitting. See you then.